Hello, my name is Joshua Keith, and this is theburningcoal.com, a website dedicated to God's glory, His grace, and our response to it. Today we're going to do a Monday motivation talking about meekness. And this is something that I think is a really good study for us because a lot of times we don't talk about being meek. It's not a word that's very common in our society today. However, what Jesus tells us in Matthew chapter 5, verse 5 in the next beatitude, he says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." This passage is really a reference to the 37th Psalm. And I think that really helps inform us on what the idea of meek means. First of all, we see a contrast between the meek and the wicked in this 37th Psalm. And we're not going to go all the way through it. For time's sake, we're just going to make a couple of quick references for it. But one of the things that you see about the wicked is, first of all, they are wicked. They are rebelling against God. But they are also looking to take matters into their own hand. They're going to war on their own behalf. They're looking out for each other. They're looking to take advantage of the poor. They're taking weapons so that way they're able to be successful about being able to take advantage of the poor. In contrast, we see that the meek are those who are waiting for God. And so this idea of being meek is about controlling ourselves and not rushing to action. There's a lot of times where we may be able to do something, but that doesn't mean we should do something. And I really think that's what Jesus is getting at here when he's talking about this mindset of the meek. Now, why wouldn't we do something if we have the ability to do so? The first is that we need to rely on God. And notice how this fits in conjunction with the other things we've already been looking at. We looked at this idea of poor in spirit, that we have nothing to offer God. And we need to mourn because we recognize all the damage that we've done, and we recognize how badly we have messed things up in our lives. And so we know that we need to rely on God. And that's what this meekness is rather than coming up with our own solution, rather than taking control of things, instead, we are going to let God take control. We're going to wait on Him. And this is important in the context of dealing with enemies. And again, when you look back at that 37th Psalm, you see that these two groups of people are really in conflict with each other. You've got the evil, the wicked, and you've got those who are meek. And those who are meek are not supposed to ready themselves for battle. They're not supposed to go to war. They're not supposed to take the matters into their own hands. And we need to understand that we are in a spiritual battle today. That we have sinned and that Satan has taken us captive. And again, there is nothing we can do to fix it. But thankfully, God has shown us His way. And so He's asking us to wait on Him, to allow Him to bring about the victory. And so, again, we need to show this reliance on God, this patience on God, allowing Him to be the one that's in control, allowing Him to decide how things should progress, and most importantly, allowing Him to tell us what He wants for us in our life. And so part of this meekness that we show is that, okay, God's in charge. God's the one who is going to enrich our spirit. God's the one who's going to comfort our mourning. How does He want to do that? What is He asking for from us? Let's not try to come up with our own plan. Let's not try to be rash. Let's not try to be powerful. Let's not try to fix everything. God is the one who provides the solution. And so when we come across challenges, we need to go to His Word. We need to listen to what He has to say. That is where we find wisdom. And that is where we find Him leading us to victory. We wait on Him by meekly accepting His leadership. He is in charge of our lives, not us. I hope this lesson blesses you in your walk in His kingdom.